Ayesha stepped into the shiny glass building with her heart pounding. She clutched her old stitched handbag close to her chest, wearing a simple dress that had faded with time. Her sandals were worn, her hands slightly trembling, but her eyes carried the fire of a dream too big for her small village. She had traveled 6 hours by bus, skipping meals just to afford the ticket. Today was the day. Ayesha had been called for a job interview at one of the biggest companies in the city, Zayden Tech Corp. As she approached the front desk, the receptionist looked up from her phone and instantly frowned. She was dressed in a smart blue blazer, nails freshly painted, and attitude sharper than a knife. Her eyes scanned Ayesha from head to toe: poor clothes, patched bag, no makeup, no class. Ayesha smiled gently and said, "Excuse me, I have an interview at 10 a.m. for the assistant position." The receptionist leaned back and smirked. "An interview? Here?" "Sweetheart, this isn't a street corner job. Are you sure you're not lost?" People sitting nearby turned to look. Ayesha's smile faded. She clutched her resume tightly. "I got a call from HR, ma'am." "I'm supposed to." The receptionist interrupted her with a mocking laugh. "Honey, just because you printed a resume doesn't mean you're getting a job here. Go apply at a bakery or something." Ayesha felt her cheeks burn. Her throat tightened, but she refused to cry. She had faced worse before: empty stomachs, torn notebooks, days without electricity. But today felt like someone was trying to steal her only chance. Then suddenly, the air in the room shifted. The main entrance opened, and a tall man in a dark gray suit entered, confident, commanding, eyes observant. It was Mr. Zayden, the CEO of the company himself. The receptionist quickly stood up. "Good morning, sir." Mr. Zayden glanced at the scene. The awkward silence, the girl with pain in her eyes, and his receptionist trying to act innocent. "What's going on here?" he asked. "Oh, nothing, sir," she replied sweetly. This girl was confused. She thought she had an interview, but clearly, she doesn't look prepared. He looked directly at Ayesha. "What's your name?" "Ayesha, sir," she said, nervously. I came for the 10 a.m. assistant interview. Do you have your resume?" She handed it over with shaking hands. He looked at it for a moment, then turned to the receptionist and said calmly, "Did you check her schedule?" The receptionist fumbled. No, sir. I didn't think." "That's the problem," he cut her off. "You didn't think." Turning to Ayesha, he said, "Come with me." The entire lobby went quiet as he walked her upstairs personally. Some people were whispering. The receptionist looked like she had swallowed a lemon. In his office, he asked Ayesha to sit and speak freely. She told him everything. How she had lost her father young, how her mother worked as a maid to help her study, how she walked miles to school, and how she learned English through free online videos. Her words weren't fancy, but they were honest. Her eyes weren't full of style, but they were full of sincerity. "I know I don't look like others," she said, "but I can work harder than anyone. I may not have wealth, but I have will." Mr. Zayden smiled and said, "That's all I need." Ayesha couldn't believe her ears. "You mean I'm hired?" "You're not just hired," he said. "You're exactly what this company needs, someone who understands struggle and respects opportunity." He walked her back down. In front of everyone, he said, "This young lady is our newest employee. And I hope everyone learns to judge talent by heart, not by appearance." The receptionist stood frozen, her mouth slightly open, unable to speak. Weeks passed. Ayesha worked harder than anyone else in the department. She stayed late, helped others, and took every challenge as a chance to grow. She didn't gossip, didn't complain, she just kept showing results. 6 months later, she was promoted. 1 year later, she had her own office. Now, the same receptionist who once mocked her quietly avoided eye contact whenever Ayesha passed by. But Ayesha never held hatred in her heart. She would always smile gently, remembering her mother's words, "Respect your success by staying kind to those who weren't kind to you." At the company's annual event, Mr. Zayden shared her story. When Ayesha walked into this company, he said to a packed hall, "She reminded me of myself. No big name, no fancy clothes, just pure determination. That's the true dress code of success." Everyone stood and clapped. Ayesha looked around and smiled, not with pride, but with gratitude. She had walked into the building as someone the world overlooked, and walked out as someone they would never forget. One click of yours means the world to us. Like, subscribe, and be part of our journey.